Hey, this is your brother Van Silk. Common Sense with Van Silk. It's been a minute, it's been a while, but you know, I'm back again. Going to drop another segment on Common Sense with Van Silk. You can check me out on rumble.com, youtube.com, tiktok.com, Common Sense with Van Silk. But I wanted to bring up a situation that really changed my thought about people, because people can change and people's mindset do elevate sometimes. And I was watching Tucker Carlson, a person who I never admired when he was on Fox News. And I guess he was responsible for the voting machines and they let him go. But he sat down and had a conversation with Ted Cruz out of Texas. And I really admired how Ted Cruz is trying to make a narrative that didn't fit what's going on in America. Tucker Carlson asked him some great questions, and it seemed like Ted Cruz was really adamant about creating an atmosphere for Israel. But I'm not going to get too deep into this. I just want you to sit back, watch how this conversation goes, and I'm going to leave you with your own opinion, and I'm going to leave you with how you can say, hey, something ain't right here. You can leave a comment. It's a free country. Freedom of speech. But check out the conversation with Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson. This is Van Silk, Common Sense. I'll be right back.
Number one, as a Christian, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I don't have the scripture off the tip of my...
So you're quoting a Bible phrase, you don't have context for it, and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker, you answer it. Give me another reason. If you're not an anti-Semite, give me another reason why the obsession is Israel.
I am in no sense obsessed with Israel. We are on the brink of war with Iran, and so these are valid questions.
But you're not asking about Iran or the Ayatollah.
If I can finish, you asked me why I'm obsessed with Israel.
Yep.
3 minutes after telling me that when you first ran for Congress, you elucidated one of your main goals, which is to defend Israel.
Yes.
And I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel. I don't see a lawmaker's job as defending the interests of a foreign government. And shame on you for suggesting otherwise, and I mean that.
So shame on you is cute, by the way, Tucker.
It is. It's not cute. I'm offended. I'm obsessed with the Jews. You just told me
you just called me a sleazy feline.
It is sleazy to imply that I'm an anti-Semite for asking questions about how my government is run.
You want to count how many questions you asked about? What about the Jews? What about Israel? What about AIPAC?
I never asked about the Jews.
In this never-before-seen moment on this channel, Tucker Carlson once again exposes Ted Cruz. I watched the entire thing for you guys and found some of the rarest unseen moments. I guarantee that after watching this video, you'll see Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz in a completely different way. This is one of the best moments I've ever shared on this channel, so make sure you watch till the end. Don't you dare skip. If you skip, you're going to miss a lot. I promise you that. So don't miss anything. Just keep watching till the end.
They have nothing to do with each other. I'm talking about the influence of
Israel and Jews have nothing to do with each other?
All Jews, or an attack on all Jews, which I am not, nor would I ever be undertaking now. I'm not attacking anybody.
By the way, that's who Iran wants to kill, is all the Jews and all the Americans.
And I'm totally opposed to that, okay? But now, because
Except you don't want to do anything about it.
Decisions need to be made.
We can talk about those decisions.
And I plan to.
Good.
But I just want to get a sense of whether you think, having described yourself as an America First person whose only criterion for judgment on foreign policy is America's national interest, to what extent you're influenced by a foreign government, which gives you a lot of money through its lobby, and you're claiming this has nothing to do with the foreign government. They're not coordinating. Yes, they're spying on us, but it doesn't bother you. And I'm sort of wondering, like, what is this? This is one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had.
But it gets it backward. Look, AIPAC, when I ran for the Senate, AIPAC didn't support me. I supported Israel before they supported me. I'm happy to have their support because they share my objective.
No, but you're missing it. I'm not suggesting that you're bought and paid for. I'm not saying that. I want to go back and take sincere.
I want to go back and take the transcript, because you just said a minute ago, I'm slightly paraphrasing, but are you lobbying for a foreign government because they pay you a lot of money? That's basically what you said. So you are suggesting that.
Let me just be clear about what I think. Your views seem totally sincere.
Yes.
You take money from people who agree with you.
Yeah.
I believe that. I take
money from people who disagree with me.
I'm only trying to get to the question of to what extent is the U.S. government influenced by other governments? And it's a lot.
Of
and
course.
It's hardly just Israel. It's hardly just Israel. I don't think Israel's the main one. There are lots of governments. China is a massive influence on this city.
And it's a huge
As
problem.
you know, I couldn't agree more. But it's the only one where you're instantly called an anti-Semite for asking questions. And it's also the only government that no one will ever criticize. And
People
I find
criticize Israel every minute of every day. Like the only government that people will not criticize, Rashida Tlaib just tweeted out calling Benjamin Netanyahu a war criminal.
Rashida Tlaib, I'm talking about Republicans that I would vote for, including you.
Wait, what? Ted Cruz literally admits multiple countries influence U.S. policy. China, the UK, others. But the moment Tucker Carlson asks about Israel, it becomes offensive? That's a contradiction. According to U.S. lobbying disclosures, foreign-linked lobbying through legal channels like FARA and aligned groups is a real and documented part of Washington politics. Not just Israel, but Saudi Arabia, China, UAE, etc. So Tucker's point is simple and correct. If influence exists, it should be questioned, no exceptions. Cruz is wrong because he's selectively defending one case while admitting the broader reality.
And I'm saying, whatever. I don't even like talking about Israel. What I care about, I never do because it's not worth being called anti-Semites from AIPAC recipients. But now we are on the verge of joining a war, and I just want to be clear about why we're doing this.
All right, so, and let's get into Iran momentarily, but you suggested it was a strange thing that I said a minute ago, that when I came into the Senate, I resolved that I was going to be the leading defender of Israel. And what you didn't ask is why, so let me tell you why.
No, you said I was obsessed with Israel, and you had just told me that, like, your driving motive to get to the Senate was to defend Israel. I'm like, I don't think I'm the one who's obsessed with Israel.
Okay,
I don't even think about Israel.
Tucker, words matter.
Uh-huh.
And you know that. I said I resolved to be the leading defender of Israel, and you said your driving motive, the reason you're in the Senate.
You want to be the leading defender of Israel. I would think if I ran for Senate, I'd be like, there are people dying of drug ODs on the street.
My driving motive is to fight for Texas and America, and to fight for jobs, and to fight for the Constitution. And you played a very, very careful word game of eliding.
You're the one who said it, not me.
So you still haven't asked why, but I'm going to tell you why.
And
People
I find
criticize Israel every minute of every day.
What? People criticize Israel every minute? Then why do politicians constantly get labeled or pressured when they question policy? There are well-documented cases in U.S. politics where criticism of Israeli government policy triggered backlash, donor pressure, or public accusations. This isn't made up. Even members of Congress have faced censure debates over it. Tucker Carlson is highlighting a real political sensitivity. Cruz is wrong because he's pretending the environment is neutral when it clearly isn't. Cruz says Tucker is obsessed
With Israel. Why is Israel...
Oh, I don't think I'm obsessed with Israel.
Okay, but I think a lot of people are, and like the question, Israel spies on us. Well, so does every other country. Why are you mad at Israel?
I guess, no. I'm hardly the one who's... I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
But earlier admits his goal was to be a leading defender of Israel. That's not interpretation, that's his own framing. If a politician prioritizes defending a foreign ally, questioning that priority is completely valid in foreign policy analysis. Tucker Carlson is right to challenge that inconsistency. Cruz is wrong because he's trying to reframe his own words after being confronted.
Okay.
And the reason is twofold. Number one, as a Christian, growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis, but... So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it, and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
Oh my God. For God's sake, someone please take Ted Cruz out of this studio. I'm literally laughing watching the way Tucker Carlson is just dismantling.
as you can see, the conversation with Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson is way out of line, and it seems like Israel is in the middle of everything. We at war right now with Iran, and a lot of people say because of Israel. But you know, I thought it was America first, but it seems like with a lot of the Republicans and everybody is Israel first. But I just want to come in and say this here. Thank you, Tucker Carlson, for hitting with these hard-hitting questions. The quote that Ted Cruz came from the Bible, he couldn't even quote the scriptures. And it's amazed me how these politicians could just sit up here and continue to just blah, 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 but the American people soak it in. They can get appointed and voted in office because they lie. But if the normal American person lie on an application or for a job, they get fired. Back to Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. Common sense with Van Silk.
All right, guys, let me know in the comments. Do you agree with me on this or not?
We are commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right
Yes.
now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected.
He's the prime minister.
Right.
What?
But just like, America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle
This is
there.
silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
that's what God was talking about
Yes.
in Genesis.
I do, but
that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is. So I don't know if we can.
I don't remember the scriptural citation. But, okay,
It's like Genesis 16 or something like that. But yes, it's in the earlier part of the book. But the point is...
All right, Tucker, you keep interrupting me before I finish my sentence.
It's just important to know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're... So you're saying as a Christian, if I believe in Jesus, I have to support the modern state of Israel?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm explaining for me what my motivation is.
But okay, so I'm just trying to understand. You said God tells you to support the modern state of Israel in the Bible, in some place in the Bible that you heard about, but you don't know where it is. That's your theology?
You're going back, am I a sleazy feline again? I mean...
If you accuse me of anti-Semitism again, I will say that, but I don't think you will.
Try to be a little less condescending. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Condescending. You're throwing this stuff out, and it's my job to figure out what you're talking about, but I don't understand.
But you're not letting me...
What? This is insane. A U.S. senator is using a Bible reference to justify geopolitical alignment and can't even cite it? In U.S. governance, policy is supposed to be based on national interest, law, and strategic analysis, not unverifiable religious interpretation. Even Cruz later admits it's personal, which proves it shouldn't be used in policy argument at all. Tucker Carlson is right to push back. He's demanding clear, rational justification, not vague theology. Cruz is wrong because his argument lacks verifiable grounding and consistency.
That is, for me, a personal motivation, but I also, what I was about to say, I don't believe my personal faith, not everyone who I represent is a Christian. It's not an argument for me to give that we should do this because of my faith. And so as an elected official, I don't give that as the reason we should support Israel. That is a personal motivation for me, but I don't think it is the reason we should. The reason that I am the leading defender of Israel is because Israel is our strongest ally in the Middle East, an incredibly troubled part of the world, and supporting Israel benefits America. And the clearest illustration of that is what is happening right now. Let me just make this point, and then...
Okay, and then I'll just ask what you mean. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, Iran, I think the most acute national security threat facing America right now is the threat of a nuclear Iran. I think China is the biggest long-term threat, but acute and near-term is a nuclear Iran.
Okay.
And I think Israel is doing a massive favor to America right now by trying to take out Iran's nuclear capacity. And the reason I view Iran differently, we talked before about Iraq. I opposed the Iraq war. We talked about Syria. I opposed military intervention in Syria. The reason for that is those did not pose a threat to the United States. I think Iran is markedly different. Number one, the Ayatollah is a religious zealot. He is a lunatic, but a particularly dangerous kind of lunatic because he's driven by religious fervor. When he says death to America and death to Israel, I believe him. And I think Iran is trying to get a nuclear weapon because there is a very real possibility they would use a nuclear weapon. So you want to ask, how does supporting Israel benefit us? Right now, this tiny little country, the size of the state of New Jersey, is fighting our enemies for us and taking out their top military leadership and trying to take out their nuclear capacity. That makes America much safer.
This is getting worse. First, he says faith drives his support, then says faith isn't the reason for policy? That's a direct contradiction. In policy analysis, your motivation and justification must align. If your reasoning is strategic, ally in Middle East, then defend it with data, not religion. Yes, Israel is considered a key U.S. ally in the Middle East, but that alliance is usually justified through military cooperation, intelligence sharing, and regional strategy, not religious doctrine. Tucker Carlson is right for forcing clarity. Cruz is wrong because his argument shifts depending on pressure.
What is true is Iran is trying to assassinate Donald J. Trump, and they have hired hitmen. Now, you pointed out...
No, he said that they have tried twice to kill him, and I don't know that, I don't have any evidence that's true, but I sort of wonder if that is true.
But what is true, and what your newsletter didn't acknowledge, is it true or false that Iran is currently trying to murder Donald J. Trump and has paid hitmen to do so?
Well, that's the question, and I don't know the Butler, Pennsylvania thing.
Pennsylvania.
Let's just put that aside. I don't know.
So Netanyahu misspoke when he said those two assassinations were because of Iran. But what he was saying that is right is they're actively trying to murder Donald J. Trump.
Is there? Okay, so you're aware of a plot to kill Trump?
Yes. That Iran is paying for. And by the way...
Wait, when?
It has been over the last, I'd say, 18 months to 2 years.
In the United States?
In the United States, yes. And let me point out...
Has anyone been arrested? No one has been arrested for these assassination attempts on Trump.
Yes.
They've hired hitmen. How do we know that?
All right, let me break it down. People have been arrested. So... under the Biden
administration... Well, they say that. I've never seen any evidence of it.
Can I give you the evidence?
What? This is actually insane. Ted Cruz is making one of the biggest claims possible, that Iran is actively trying to assassinate a U.S. president. And when asked for evidence, nothing concrete is presented. This matters because claims like this can justify war. In intelligence standards, extraordinary claims require verifiable evidence, names, arrests, documents, or confirmed reports. Even Tucker points out, no clear arrests tied to Trump, no publicly verified case presented here in this conversation. Cruz shifts from they tried to kill Trump to they are trying to we've been told. That's a downgrade in certainty, not proof. Tucker Carlson is doing exactly what a serious interviewer should do, pressing for evidence, not accepting vague intelligence claims at face value. This is why this moment is powerful, because without questioning, statements like this get accepted blindly, and that's how narratives get built without proof.
And so they are actively trying. And in fact,
but what about Trump? He's the president. If there's a plot to kill Trump by the Iranians,
okay, so you dispute that the Iranians are trying to kill Trump?
Of course. I mean, that's the most important question. The Prime Minister of Israel just said there have been 2 assassination attempts against Donald Trump by the Iranians. And I think it's a very fair question, maybe you disagree, to ask, what are you talking about?
Okay. And I agree with you that he misspoke.
So there weren't those 2 attempts?
There were 2 attempts, but the clown in Butler, Pennsylvania, and the other guy on the golf course were not connected to the Iranians. That's the part that he misspoke. But by the way, when you speak all the time, occasionally, what he said that was accurate is that Iran is actively trying to murder Donald J. Trump and has paid hitmen.
Okay, but okay, that's fine.
And he was conflating it with the 2 attempts.
I understand. But I just want to pull that thread because it's so important. I voted for Donald Trump. I campaigned for Donald Trump. Yeah. He's our president. And we're on the cusp of a war. So if there's evidence that Iran paid hitmen to kill Donald Trump and is currently doing that, Where's that? Like, what are you even talking? I've never heard that before.
Okay.
Where's the evidence? Who are these people? Why haven't they been arrested? Why are we not at war with Iran?
That's a great question to ask.
How do you know that that's true?
We know that it's true because we have been told that by the military and our intelligence community for the last 2 years.
We meaning who?
Congress has and the public. I mean, we had multiple testimonies. I can send you testimony.
Do we know the names of the people or where this happened or what they tried to do to kill Trump?
We have not apprehended an Iranian hitman trying to kill him. We know that Iran is trying to do so.
In the United States?
Yes. And by the way, like Iran...
This just seems like a huge headline, and you're acting like everyone knows this. I didn't know that.
Iran put out a whole video about murdering Trump.
Before you leave, let's just be real for a second. What you just watched is not normal political conversation. This is exactly how narratives are shaped. Confident claims, emotional framing, but when pressed for evidence, things start falling apart. And the reason Ted Cruz defends Israel so strongly isn't some mystery. There are multiple layers behind it. The U.S. sends billions of dollars in military aid to Israel every year. There are powerful lobbying groups in Washington that support pro-Israel policies. And politically, supporting Israel has long been a mainstream bipartisan position in the U.S. But here's what most people don't realize. Questioning a foreign government's influence is completely normal in any democracy. The U.S. questions China, Russia, Iran, so why should any country be off limits? And that's where Tucker Carlson stands out. He's doing something very rare. He's asking uncomfortable questions that most people avoid. Whether you agree with him or not, he's forcing accountability, and that's what real journalism is supposed to do. Because without people like that, these conversations never happen. These contradictions never get exposed, and the public never gets the full picture. So if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you for the massive support on this channel. It genuinely means a lot. And if you want more people to see the truth behind moments like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with others. Because at the end of the day, that's the only way this kind of content actually reaches more people.